Welcome back you guys, and in today's News Daily video, I'll be speaking about 4 stories today. They are going to be on the latest contract renewals for 2 experienced players in the squad. I'll be speaking about the players returning back to training and the latest developments surrounding N'Golo Kante and his concerns at returning back during this pandemic situation. And of course, I'll be speaking about the latest comments made by Emerson and Jorginho, and I'll be speaking about links suggesting that we may be turning our attentions to Antoine Griezmann. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions CV, and if you guys like today's video, then remember to show your support by smashing that like button. And now to start off with today's video, I want to talk about the 2 players that just signed new contracts. Now, it comes to no surprise that Olivier Giroud and Willy Caballero are the 2 players in particular. In regards to Caballero, could this potentially suggest that Kepa is going to be given another opportunity to show that he can be our number 1 keeper? You know, we have to accept and respect that due to the pandemic situation, clubs can't just spend irresponsibly. No club wants to be the one that's spending an arm and a leg on players that might not even necessarily be the key signings that are needed, especially when so many people are being furloughed and losing their jobs. It just doesn't sit right, and it wouldn't be the best PR move to make. In regards to Willy Caballero, I feel like he has been a very good second choice goalkeeper whenever he has had to play, especially this season. I thought he was really solid, and he definitely deserved to play over Kepa during that period of time. In the case of Olivier Giroud, we've known for a long time that he was eventually going to sign a new contract. However, does this suggest that due to Giroud signing this new contract, we won't be turning towards the market for a new striker? I think it's too early to assume that right now. I think realistically, from a business point of view, an economical point of view, of course, with Giroud having so much interest from so many clubs, when Giroud has ambitions of representing France in the Euros next summer, if there's a possibility that you can make some money from a sale, then of course you're going to do that. But again, that's just one way of seeing things. Another way of seeing things is that Giroud is comfortable being a backup striker, or, and this is my personal opinion, I get the impression that we could see him stay until the January window, where then he can assess his options at a later date, as I personally feel that a lot of big business is going to get done during the transfer window in January. I can't imagine that we're going to sign all our targets in the summer window, and I can't imagine that we're going to sell all the players that are made to plus requirements in the same window. I think it's a bit too much to happen in such a short period of time. But regardless, you guys, it seems that all the players now are getting the contracts we want. Is there a possibility that Pedro, Willian are going to get the similar deals? Who knows? Both players want to sign contracts that are longer than just signing another year's extension. However, I feel the next player that we will be hearing talks of renewing his contract is going to be Tino Anjorin. And on that point, that's all the latest surrounding contracts. Now, before I get into anything, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app, as I'm constantly stressing, is the best football companion app to have on the market. People that have tried it out for themselves all have positive feedback. It's free, and it does take a little while to get used to the format of the app, but honestly, it's going to take you no time at all, and you're going to be using it every single time to get quick updates on fixture news, player stats, etc, etc. If you guys want to test it out for yourselves, you'll find a link below in the description below. Now we move on to the second story today, and that's going to be in regards to Antoine Griezmann. Now, this report did come out from The Sun, and they're suggesting that Griezmann could be made to plus requirements at Barcelona. Barcelona want to revamp their squad, and other than Frankie de Jong, Messi and Ter Stegen, it seems that every other player at Barcelona could be made available for potential moves. Now, this does make sense because Barcelona are currently the favourites to sign Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan. Could there be a possibility that the tactics are shifted to allow Griezmann and Lautaro to play up front together with Messi in behind? Potentially. However, it was no surprise to me that the Griezmann move to Barca was never fully going to pay off, and that's due to the nature in which Griezmann plays the game. He's much better at playing off the ball, where he can use his intelligent movement in behind, And of course his runs inside the box is great effect compared to being a player that has to make things happen with the ball at his feet. It seems that Barcelona are willing to let Griezmann leave, and that's because they need to reduce their wage bill. They have so many players on such big contracts. Griezmann is earning about 300,000 per week. And now moving this story back to us, it gets you thinking, are we in that financial position where we can offer a player those types of wages? Now for me, I think that we can easily do that because we cannot forget that we were willing to pay over 400,000 a week to keep Eden Hazard at this club, and by the business strategy right now to tie down our exciting young talents on long-term contracts on, very competitive wages. Naturally a lot of these guys aren't earning the final contracts that they one day will earn, so I feel like there is flexibility with our wage bill. Now of course, if you are considering signing Griezmann, it brings up a strong argument for Aubameyang, because Aubameyang would be a lot cheaper in the sense that, reports are suggesting his final transfer fee is around 30 million, and I can't imagine Aubameyang asking for over 350,000, 400,000 a week. I feel like his wage demands would be quite similar to a Griezmann, and with the added bonus that Aubameyang understands the Premier League and is Premier League proven, I can't imagine that we turn our attentions to a Griezmann when there are better, more economical deals out there in the market. Now naturally with a lot of these stories, we are linked with so many players that actually could be amazing for us because they suit the system and stylistically they complement how we play. With Griezmann, his abilities to just play on the last shoulder of the defense, intelligent movement in behind, great work ethic, he presses from the front as well. He could easily slot in and do a job at this club, because in that sense, Tammy can learn from these experienced strikers. And back in January when we were linked with Edinson Cavani, Abraham seemed very excited about that potential move, because as the player himself said, this could be an amazing opportunity to learn from one of the best strikers in Europe, and to learn from a striker that is quite similar in the way that Tammy Abraham plays. For me, if this Griezmann story did become concrete, I think it would be an opportunistic deal at best, because it would take unique circumstances for us to, make a deal like this concrete and tangible. I think right now, if we did sign an experienced striker, that's going to be because of the finances, and mostly I feel we want to target young potential strikers that we can improve over the years. I don't know if Griezmann is going to be a thing. Now we turn our attentions to Emerson and Jorginho. Now I'm going to be starting with Jorginho, and recently his agent came out suggesting that there hasn't been any official words or talks with Paratici, the Juventus director of football, at this point in time. Now his agent goes on to state that Jorginho has 3 years left in his contract, and of course he would be happy to stay. However, I've been seeing Jorginho and his agent flirting with Juventus and the possibility of remaining at this club for such a long time, and to be honest, I think at this point in time you can easily decode what they're hinting at, what they're implying. And let's actually break down the hidden communication in this story. Now of course we cannot forget that the Euros is going to be happening in 2021, and with international tournaments like this is normally a huge motivating factor for players, because of course every player at this level dreams of one day representing their country in big international tournaments. Now in Jorginho's case, now with the emergence of Gilmour, now that Ruben's fit again as well, and due to the emergence of Kovacic this season, there's a strong possibility that Jorginho is not going to be the first name on the team sheet anymore. And if he does potentially lose his first team spot in a crucial year that could potentially jeopardize his Euro spot, it's only natural that Jorginho, a professional that cares about maximizing his career, is going to consider the possibility of one day working with Sarri again. Of course, they are going to be very respectful with their current stance. They're not going to be forthright and say that, we 100% want a move to Juventus, because as the agent himself has said, there hasn't been enough concrete talks between both parties. Jorginho currently does have a contract with us, and if he does stay with us, the player isn't going to be upset. He's still going to do his professional duties. However, I think that once Juventus show actual concrete information, I feel like we are going to see a shift in tone from Jorginho and from his agent. But if you're asking me, this isn't a case of the agent really, talking words into Jorginho's head. Of course not. We have to respect and understand that players that are playing at this level, especially if you're playing for top 4 clubs, you have your professional desires and ambitions of your own. Now, when it comes to the case of Emerson, he was actually interviewed from an Italian media publication, and in the interview, just to summarize it very briefly for you guys, Emerson spoke about his experiences working under Conte, Sarri and Frank Lampard. Emerson said that when he first signed, he did learn a lot under Conte, and he was used to Conte's work ethics and expectations in the training ground. Emerson said that he enjoyed his time working under Sarri and said, of course, even though sometimes training was a bit boring, he felt like Sarri's system got the best out of him. And when it came to Frank Lampard, he said that Lampard is an experienced player and he's a manager that is only going to improve and get better as the years go on. Now for me, this is another similar scenario to Jorginho. We can easily decode what he's saying, and again it comes down to when I get an offer that I like from Italy, once something becomes more tangible, then I would be willing to return back to Italy. But at this point in time, if it doesn't materialize right now, or maybe if things materialize in the future, I'm happy to remain at the club at this point in time. You guys, in the case of Emerson, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he stayed until January. I can't imagine us now selling both Alonso and Emerson in the same summer window period. I feel whoever gets sold is going to be the one that commands the most money at this point in time. And there could be an argument that keeping Emerson instead of Alonso could make more sense because we don't use a wing-back system all the time, and Emerson's shown that, playing in a back 4 is something that he's much better at doing compared to Marcos Alonso. It's much harder selling a left wing-back compared to selling a left-back, but if you're asking my subjective opinion, I can imagine us one day selling Jorginho and Emerson in the not too distant future. And now you guys, to end with the final report, I want to speak about the players returning back for training. Now 2.5 months have gone by and the players have finally returned for the first phase of the training sessions before the season does restart somewhere around the 12th of June. Of course, players trained in mini groups of about 4 to 5 each, and when they arrive for training, they actually have to turn up wearing the kits already. Of course, you have to minimize the risk of the virus spreading and germ spreading. I do get that. And I think the most notable thing is that this will be the first time that Lampard has a full set of players to work with. Well, maybe not exactly a full set of players because Hudson-Odoi has had to return back home because, again, he's picked up another illness. And in the case of N'Golo Kante, he was given compassionate leave. He arrived for the first day of training, but he hasn't attended the second day, and that's due to concerns he has about safety and in regards to whether morally this is the right thing to do. Naturally, Kante has a lot of concerns because his family, for example, have a history of heart conditions. Kante still has reservations in regards to the safety measurements in place, especially when the whole country is still in lockdown. For me, Kante's concerns are valid, and I'm curious as to know when he's going to feel more confident returning back. I'm sure his training regime will be done in the comfort of his own home. Now obviously, we've all seen the photos of Kante with a full set of hair. What, I'll be real with you guys, I always saw Kante as like a black one-punch man. I thought that he gave up his hair in that pursuit of becoming a world-class player, and I'm sure the players were shocked themselves. I thought maybe my guy went to Turkey to get his hairline done in the meantime, but you guys, before I keep going on, I'm gonna wrap things up and keep things moving. Remember to please like, comment and subscribe. I'm EFC, this is Blue Lines TV. I'll see you guys later for some more videos.